there, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody did okay on those spinner problems as you tried. All right, the next one that we're going to take a look at is dice. All right, there's lots of different size dice. There's lots of different sides to a dice, depending on what kind of die you're rolling. So we're going to take a look at the most basic one, the regular one, the one that is in a lot of people's board games, and that's just the six-sided die. All right, so find the probability of the event given the dice below. So just a regular six-sided die. So it's a six-sided die, so that means it has the numbers 1 through 6 in it. So what's the probability of it landing on a 6? Well, if we take a look here, the probability of rolling a 6 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, it's only 1 out of all of those possibilities. So the probability of it landing on a 6 is a 1 out of 6 chance. So probability of getting a 6 is 1 out of 6. All right, what's the probability of it landing on an even number? Well, out of all of those possibilities of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, what's the probability of it landing on an even? Well, if it lands on a 2, that's an even number, and that would be okay. If it lands on a 4, that's an even number, that would be okay. And if it lands on a 6, that's an even number, and that would be okay. So the probability of it landing on a 2, 4, or 6 is 3 out of the 6 possible. So if we type that in there, you'll notice that needs to be simplified. So what does 3 over 6 simplify to, or 3/6 simplify to? 1/2. So you got a 50-50 shot of rolling an even number on this die right here. All right? But remember, we're going to keep everything as fractions. All right? This one right here, don't be tricked. What's the probability of it landing on a 0? All right? Remember, the possibilities are only 1 out of 6. So a 0, even though 0 is a number, is it one of the possibilities here? It is not. So it's going to be 0 out of 6. And what does 0 over any number really simplify to? 0. So that's a six-sided die example for us. And we're going to take a look at one more die for some examples, and that is an eight-sided die. So let's take a look here. So for this one, we're going to take a look at the desired event happening. And since it's an eight-sided die here, all the possible outcomes are going to be out of 8. So what's the probability of it landing on a 7? Well, the 7 is only one side out of those 8, so it's going to be 1 out of 8. What's the probability that the number that it lands on is going to be greater than or equal to 3? So it could be 3, and that would be okay because it's greater than or equal to 3. So if it lands on a 3, that's okay. A 4 would be okay. A 5 would be okay. 6 would be okay. 7 would be okay. 8 would be okay. So if you tally those up as I run them off, that's 6 out of the 8. And what does 6 over 8 simplify to? 3/4. There you go. All right, now be careful because we were talking about evens and odds on the last one, and that was a six-sided die, but this is an eight-sided die. So what's the probability of it landing on an odd now when it has a total of 8 instead of 6? Well, it's going to be all the numbers from 1 to 8. So you got 1 would be an odd number, 3 would be an odd number, 5 would be an odd number, and 7 would be an odd number. So again, if you counted those up as I read them out aloud, that would be 4 out of the 8. And what does 4 out of the 8 simplify to over here? 1/2. All right, we're going to give you guys a couple of dice problems for you to practice on, and then I'll meet you for a little introduction into the next type of probability when you're done with those. All right, I'll see you there.